I feel like in the last 1 week that I've been finding considerably more peace inside. And when I used to be doing anything, my mind was not solely on that. In other words, it wasn't blanking off anything else. In other words, nothing else was not involved, and and I think that it's apart from everything I've been learning from you. I've also found that even in, like you talk about non-doership, I find that effectively that is what I am interpreting has started happening in my life.
Very good. So when there is no doership, there is bliss. It is actually equally proportional. Less doership, more bliss. And I want to tell you about this thing, this ego sense. If you investigate properly, everyone can find this ego sense cause of all trouble. And once you know that there is ego sense, then you can go beyond it. You can dissolve that ego sense, which is just understanding. If you look into the paths of yoga, there are mainstream yoga paths, but self-inquiry doesn't belong to any path in a way. It is understanding the truth and contemplating on it. That's all. There's nothing there to do anything else. Because look, this whole construct of ego, which we call as Dehatma Buddhi, which is Dehatma Bhav, which we think I am the body, I have to survive, I don't want to die, I don't want to suffer. This I don't want to suffer, die, why this is happening? This is happening because I think I am this body. And also at the same time, I also think others are others. Some are relatives, but they are others. Kids, family, friends. This otherness is there, I and you. Till there is this I and you, more it is strong, more there is suffering. Less it is strong, more you are close to that true self. And slowly and gradually it actually disappears in most of the people. When suffering is very intense, whether it is a body suffering, someone is suffering from a degenerative brain disorder or a cancer or pain, excruciating pain. Sometimes I speak to Bhagavan's devotee who lives in Tirunamalai, and she is having a lot of bodily pain, and she was living in US before, now moved there. What a person suffering in body, having the body identity will want. They want death to the body. They want to die. They pray that please take me away. They pray to God of that power that I want to die now. When their suffering is so intense. And when the person is not having suffering of the body or no suffering, or maybe he's enjoying, he wants to keep enjoying, and he doesn't want death to come. He wants immortality. He wants to be in body. Both can be achieved by the same inquiry. By same self-inquiry, both can be achieved. That death, what one wants with suffering the body, can be instantaneous without even leaving the body by death of the ego. Ego gone, that attachment to the body gone. Probably pain might stay, but that attachment, which is giving rise to more of a drama, like we become a drama queen when we are thinking I am the body. When there is no body attachment, then body can be in suffering. And a lot of other miseries are miseries of our emotional makeup. One of the persons I believe you would be knowing, Eckhart Tolle. He was just a normal human being, not even normal. He was in deep depression. He was in poverty. He was very miserable life in his mind. So much so that he wanted to get out of it. And it was such an intense longing to be out of whatever this construct is that he was pulled out of it forever. And next day in morning when he woke up, everything looked so fresh. That mind which was causing all this problem suddenly surrendered to that higher self. The person who hated his life, who was suffering, circumstances didn't change. Everything stayed the same body, same life, same issues. But there was something different, so profound that he started teaching others about power of now and living in moment. And what is living in moment? If I ask you, what is living in moment? What takes away this moment from us? Your mind only, not my mind, your mind. Not a neighbor's mind, your mind. Not the situation, but your mind. What is mind? Mind is nothing but ignorance. It deceives us. That God, that power gave as a gift for us to enjoy, but we have ruined our life. We have misused and we've abused it to an extent that now it is causing suffering. In some of the African nations in which they found diamond mines, the whole world thought that they will be the richest country in the world, but they ruined themselves. They got diamond mines, but everyone attacked and they had infights and they got more poorer and more corrupt and more suffering, more killings. Sometimes we don't know how to handle abundance or too much. People who have too much of money, they go into vices. They destroy their peace of mind. Vinitji, I remember once you were telling in a satsang that you visited India.
Yes.
And you could not bear the suffering of poor people. I remembered you yesterday. I met a film director from India who makes beautiful movies. So he showed me one of the movies which he made. Movie's title is Three of Us. And in that movie, it's a silent movie. It's a 15-minute short movie. Probably you can search Three of Us. And director's name is Umesh Kulkarni. He's from India, Maharashtra, Pune. And in that movie, and I'm coming to your point because sometimes we feel that a poor man is suffering. Maybe poor man is enjoying. We are suffering with all the money. This is our perception about poor man, So in this movie, there is an old couple, lower middle class, very limited resources. They have an adult child, perhaps in his 40s. He's completely disabled. His both hands unable to do anything with his hands. So he does everything with his uh, feet, with his foot. He brushes, he shaves, he claps. Hands are useless. And he can't speak. So he's born like this. But but he showed in that 15-minute movie 24 hours of life of these three people in that house. They have their own laughter, their own love, their peace of mind. Someone from outside will think they are suffering, or that person is suffering in that body. We cannot know about others. All these beautiful faces on Facebook who have everything, all sorts of brands or money or what, you don't know their suffering inside. Suffering has nothing to do with what you have, what you don't have. More you have pride, more you have arrogance, more is ignorance. More is the ego, bigger is the suffering. More humble you are, more simple you are, less is the suffering. And a seeker, and a spiritual seeker who seeks to find that self, that true happiness, is always in that bliss. But he might not be jumping. He might also shed tears if someone else is crying. But he is very grounded. He's settled. He is not doing anything for any personal gain at any time. This is the difference. And that's why we call those people in India as Mahatma. Mahatma doesn't mean they have a bigger ego. Maha means big. It is just to respect. Actually, they know their Atma. They know their self. Self-realization makes you contented, happy, blissful, and gets you out of all sorts of things. But things might still be happening in life as the body is destined to. But whatever way the things are destined, if they are happening, it is not affecting you. For others with ego sense, it might be good life, it might be a bad life. But for a Mahatma, for the person who has realized the self, it is the same life. External situation only affects ego sense, not otherwise. So the one who is seeking true happiness, eternal happiness, and who is still not in any bad situation, body is pretty good, he is helping society, he is not doing anything bad, he is a good person, that also wants to go beyond this limited body, wants immortality. And for that person also, it's the same rule. Get rid of this ego completely. So whether you are suffering or you are enjoying, it doesn't matter. If you want that eternal bliss, death of the ego is the end of ignorance. There is nothing else. All the paths, all religions, all sects, all spirituality, whatever you call it, at the end, if this is not gone, nothing is gone. You have not achieved anything in matter of happiness. Yes, you can be more peaceful, because even when you have not reached the top of mountain, even on journey you will feel more cold, more fresh air. But then you can you can slip back, because if ego claims that I am feeling happy, I am peaceful, immediately put question to that ego. Who am I? Who are you who is claiming this? Because on this journey where your job is to end ego, we should not start claiming or start receiving trophies before it becomes settled completely. And sometimes it takes weeks and months and even years, even after that opening. I would say that this back and forth, or this unfoldment, it is a slow process, and slow is beautiful. Slow cooking is beautiful, but have patience, and don't go ahead and claim it. I grabbed this trophy, I got it. The moment you say I got it, you have already lost it. In this game of knowing self, you have to lose the self. You have to lose the self what is trying to claim. Let it melt away. Let it be there in that light. Let it be there, because if you keep it there, even in that light, it cannot tolerate the light of self. It will start disintegrating. I will tell you, this ego is also matter. Ego is not, we call it fake. You can call this body fake, but this body still have some reality. It is solid. It has a structure, isn't it? And the whole word, we can say it is fake, but you can't just say it. Everything you can feel, touch, smell, everything has something. Same is with the ego. It has something. To disintegrate, to finish it, it has to come into the exposure of that pure self. So let it finish off in that awareness, in that self. Let it. So if it starts claiming, then probably that intensity by which you are receding can stop. And if that stops, that is like a victory to the ego, because it is a half-baked thing. Like you are there but not there. And then by that intensity by which you were receding, can get lost, because it is the patience, perseverance, and continuity of this unfoldment which is very, very important. Sometimes, people get established, but they stay. There's another teacher, Muji. If you have listened to him, he says, incubate yourself. Incubate. What is this incubation? It is beautiful word, incubate. We have incubators in NICU, in neonatal ICUs, where pre-born child, like 28 weeks, 30 weeks, because it is not at term. It is the neonate has not matured enough. So you keep it in that. It is warm, you feed through tubes, you give everything, and you wait till it reaches maturity, and then it will pick it up. Same is here. It's newfound self, that bliss, that peace. Allow it to incubate until it becomes really solid and firm and takes its shape and glory, and just finishes off all the ego and all the constructs of mind. It takes over. Let it take. When there's an organizational change, when new CEO comes or president comes or chairman comes, it takes a while before you can palpate that change. You can feel that, yes, now there is a change. For the namesake, there is new person has taken over, but old habits die hard. So let it slowly take over. So it's beautiful. It is like paying vigilance to it, paying attention to it. Even if you look through Eckhart Tolle's story, he used to just go to the park, sit on a bench and just watch grass and then stay like that, and months and months and months, because this newfound discovery needs to settle, and it is a new environment for you. But it is so beautiful. You will enjoy your own bliss. You have no interest in whatever is going in your life, definitely not in others' life. There are you are out of all this mind thoughts popping out. First time you are settled, why you want to go and talk to anyone, use mind? You want just after millions of years you have found this. Why would you waste catching up with people and telling people or doing anything? So stay in that solitude, go deeper into this. So Vinitji, this is the time to celebrate within and with you and go deeper and deeper in this. Deeper in a sense means that I consider mind as very superficial, like a wave. It creates, it is good in dealing with the world, but it is useless in dealing with the self. It has no role. So now give it rest and see how beautiful this other dimension is, inner dimension of knowing the self. It is a constant celebration. It is to celebrate till you are in this body and beyond. In Hinduism nowadays, it is a festival time and it continues for weeks, months. It started with Navratri Puja. Today is 10th day, Vijayadashmi, Dashera. And this type of celebration starts happening when you found this self, this constant festivity happening within you. Everything becomes auspicious, and every day becomes auspicious, and every meeting, every person, every doing becomes auspicious. So stay in that auspiciousness of your love it, and whom would you thank to that auspiciousness within you. Be full of gratitude.
That's what the Sangha is about, isn't it? It's about the inner journey with the inner self, isn't it? Yeah. Beautiful.
It's very beautiful. It is so nice, Sometimes there are no words because it is the only words we know is joy, happiness, bliss, peace, love. But nothing can actually explain it. It is like someone has changed your software completely. Some new rewiring has occurred. This happiness of a mad person sort of thing. How beautiful it would be if there are parallel schools running all over the world. School of happiness to teach kids from day one about this. How beautiful it would be, how different the world would be. Then the whole world will be sort of in a non-competitive way competing to be egoless, to be humble. That will become the role model of society rather than competitiveness and I will take over and challenging others and achieving. You can still achieve or whatever has to happen in that beautiful energy. But that bliss of your own pure self should emanate in small tasks and in big tasks, at home and in society. There are no mask needs to be put. People can have miserable life, fighting, whatever, and then they were showing something else to others, behaving different in different groups and circumstances, and how much um, makeover we have to do if we stay like this. How much to remember for the mind. All teachings, everyone who has found, have realized the same truth, and also realized one thing, that there's no need to change your external situation. It is not that much important. Yes, I would say spending some time in solitude is always good, because you can do this inquiry more intensely, looking from where you speak, how you say, where this comes from, what is the source. Is it filtered through mind and ego and then it comes, or it comes from the source? Very good. Anyone else has to say anything? Hello, Theo.
Hello there. I keep coming back to this, how to practice making contact with the heart. And that sort of keeps returning to me, but I'm not sure how to practice that.
And Theo, if I can ask you, what sort of practice are you doing?
Well, that coming to sort of the silence, the stillness within, and the only connection with the heart that I can sort of an attempt at is the sort of sensing or the connecting with that heart and on the right hand side of the chest, sort of in a physical sense, and then moving to where that takes me. And I still feel as though I'm sort of missing the point or missing the way, as it were, that it's meant to be practiced.
Yeah, look, I would say don't bother about heart on right or left or wherever it is, and don't make it more like a. When we say heart, we are not pertaining to any part in the body or any structure or any region. You can use anything, but rather than understanding mind and heart, better to understand what ego is. If I can put this simple question to you, do you know what is ego? Or can you sense ego in yourself?
No, not really. It's I have a sense of it being like the thinking, the opinion of myself, or how I feel about myself.
Yes. So the one who feels about myself, who thinks I am this body and I am this sense and I have to do this and I have to plan this, and the one who is constantly thinking is the ego.
Mm.
The one to whom everything is reporting. When you go out and you see things and you mind judges, no, this is not right, or this person is not behaving, or whatever it brings information, all the thoughts is the ego. Can you see that? That I am sense?
Or the sense of the mind being the ego.
No, I don't. No. Let's don't put terms to it, because we can read books and we can talk about. That's not going to happen in your sadhana, in your practice.
Right.
All the thoughts, whom do they report? To you, isn't it? Who is listening to these thoughts?
Yeah.
Who get affected by thoughts? You, isn't it?
Yes.
You what? Your body gets affected? Who gets affected by thoughts?
Well, the mind.
Mind is nothing but bundle of thoughts.
How I feel.
Whom mind reports all these thoughts to? Who sees the mind? Who is that?
That's it. It becomes a little bit of a mystery when that sort of question is put, because it's what I usually grasp hold of is using the mind to sort of come to it. And to let go of that, then there is just the absence of thought, the stillness, the silence, mauna,
But my question again to you is, if you are listening to these thoughts which are bothering you and coming as feeling, whom are they reporting to? Who is that? Whom these thoughts are reporting to? Who is listening? Who is getting affected by these thoughts? It is not the mind. Everyone says my mind is disturbed and my mind attack, or I am having really bad mood. Who is this who complains, who gets affected? Who is that? No, I don't want you to use a term. Just tell what you feel within you right now.
Well, I just feel sort of uneasy about.
Yes. So the one in you which feels uneasy is ego. We call it ego because there's something in us which gets disturbed, restless, anxious, uneasy, unhappy, emotional. That thing, that entity is ego. We call it ego. So you try to perceive not the emotions, not the thoughts, but this entity. Watch this entity within you. So you can be perceiver to this entity also. If you go a little bit more deeper in your seeing, not just superficial level, and with some practice, you can notice this sense which get disturbed, and then you can perceive that. You can beautifully perceive it. Now the real game starts now, when you are able to perceive it, because the one who is perceiving, the perceiver of this ego, never ever gets affected. If the perceiver is getting affected, then it is just the ego which is playing like this, that I am also perceiving and there's ego. Then it is just a mental construct, like the terms what you were using, mind and then heart on the right, and I focus on the right side of the heart, and then when there is no thought, then I am stillness. This all is a mind construct. So if you really want to practice and go beyond all this mind construct, ego is also part of the mind construct, but it is like something, it is talking to itself. So mind talking to itself in form of thoughts, coming to the perception, to something which is ego sense, which gets affected by thoughts and emotions and everything. This I am the body sense, I am the mind sense idea. If you start watching it, watching means not any paranoid, but rather than immediately getting affected by a thought, just having a distance between thought and as a perceiver, and even that ego sense, you can perceive how it gets affected. So you have to recede in your own seeing. Take a very back seat, as back as you can go, as back as you can recede from everything within you. And being a perceiver which is impartial, which is neutral, go into that state within you by just witnessing, which is witnessing all this unfoldment and unhappiness and restlessness. And the one who is feeling, you can't observe that ego within ego. You have to separate. You have to have that separation from it and watch it impartially, not judging it, not putting more thoughts to it. Then again, it becomes all the mental construct. Here, I'm not asking you to judge that ego or see what is happening in this game. You just stay as a witness to it, uninvolved witness. You are not even trying to pacify anything. You are not even trying that these thoughts needs to change or this ego has to go. No, don't worry. Let it be. Let the ego be there. Let thoughts be there. Let emotions be there. Let situation be there. Let the bodies there. But be the witness to everything. More you stay in that state which you can get with intense observation, this bliss will blossom in you, because this is unfoldment. And more you stay like this in solitude and then in normal interactions and even in arguments and even during tragedies and all the time, even in the dream state, when the mind is showing you a new form, that perceiver can be perceiving the dream and all the things in the dream are unfolding as you and others and all, but that perceiver which is watching as a witness is still there. And then the sleep comes to the mind, in which mind merges, but the perceiver, that awareness stays the same, because you have receded. You are in that unchanging perceiver. Buck stops here. You can't go beyond it. There's nothing beyond. There's nothing here. But this is where there's uninvolvement in all this mental construct. And that itself is bliss. That is why when you stay like this, you are in bliss. And with efforts, with constant vigilance as that perceiver of everything, what happens is this ego sense starts dissolving, because it's a mental construct and you are not giving energy to be ego, to be into it. You are staying away from it. And you are staying away, start dissolving all this mental construct. That is the reason why we call ego as illusion, because it has no standing on its own. Just because we think, that's why we feel it like that. Lot of things don't happen, but if you think it has happened, it causes problem. Like, confusion between friends. Someone has, like Chinese whispers, someone has sent something to someone and then gossip comes to you that this person has said, and you don't talk someone for next 10 years. And then the day when the truth comes out, you feel sorry, and then you are friend again. It is something like this. It is just utter confusion of mind creating all the suffering. And to resolve it, you have to recede from it. In a sense. So, and this can be a slow process, or if you understand, it can be just like this. It just finishes. Like Bhagwan had that intense fear of death, and whatever happened, he said it all happened very quick. It could be anything. I'm not talking about that there need to be an incidence, but if there's no incidence happening in your life, there's no need for it to be. You understand what is this mental construct, and just recede. Right side or left side, or these are, I know this can be very confusing, and I know it comes from Bhagwan's teachings, but he never says that you should focus on heart or any organ. I will explain you this very clearly. This is known as Purna. So, but when this unfoldment happens, you feel a vibration on the right side of the heart, which is more, you can say, more of an objectifying that thing happens. But I don't know whether it happens in everyone or everyone can perceive it. And it is not of any great significance in that sense. More of it is that you get disentangled from the mind construct and I am the body sense. You become more as a neutral, impartial observer. Not that you come and go from it. Not that some days you are full of ego and you're fighting with others and grabbing things and deceiving people, and next day you are up. It is not like that. It finishes off. But it needs to, you have to do this inquiry, this effort to be as a perceiver of this ego sense. By just watching it, it starts dissolving. Understand this beautiful truth. It is not even, I should say, any proper path of yoga. It is self-inquiry, is just understanding the truth and accepting the truth and looking within and keep practicing it every day. Next time when you feel restless or annoyed or any thought which comes which has emotions, you can know that, look, the job is not done. You have to be more staying as a witness, observing things rather than getting involved. Like you can go to a party and everyone is drunk and they are dancing on floor and they are doing all sorts of crazy things, and there is someone who has been invited as a guest but not a close friend. He doesn't drink and he's just witnessing things, and the whole everyone in party is mad, and someone comes to him or her that, you're not involved, what has happened to you, are you not enjoying? He said, no, I'm enjoying, I'm very happy, you continue what you're doing. And he's there as a witness to whatever is unfolding. I'm just giving you an example that all this mind thoughts and the one to whom it reports, if that the one to whom it reports, if you start just observing that, the one to whom all thoughts are reporting, it starts disappearing. And because they don't report to perceiver of that uninvolved witness, they don't reach him. So we call it manonasha, or the mind also disappears. And the mind and its ego and all these constructs disintegrate. And then what is always there is there, which is indescribable. But you can call it bliss, peace, joy, self, awareness, that consciousness. And that sense to which all the, because you know what, let's say we are all different people with a pair of mind and body complex. Everyone is being given. But let's say you decide that you don't want to use this mind, and you will just keep it like this and stay without using it. What will happen? You are the same awareness within and without the body. And you realize that there is no difference, even in spite of having the body. I am that infinite awareness within body and outside. Only when you got so involved in mind and you think that I am this mind, somehow so much of strong hypnosis of mind, then we think we are individual. But by witnessing unfoldment, in spite of body, your awareness and the other awareness, because it is same, you recognize both as same. And when you recognize awareness within you, that self, you recognize not in others, you recognize in others, in everything. That is what we say, all is one. It happens automatically. There are not stages to it. You just have to know yourself. That is what Bhagavan says, that even this concept of God is an illusion. The concept of God, others, me, this word, they are all part of the same illusion. Till you are dreaming, you have to believe in a God. And you believe in this word. And you believe in this body. And you believe in all forms. Receding away from it. So don't worry about the right side of heart and putting your attention on your body in the heart and all. There is no need. Actually, that information, from wherever you have gathered, whoever has taught you, it is very misleading. Simple truth is, try to let this ego sense dissolve. If I want to put exactly in Bhagavan's word, then his self-inquiry method is that each thought, when it comes to you, question to whom this thought is coming, and then answer will be to me, and then ask yourself, who am I? That is also what I am trying to explain you. The perceiver can watch this ego to whom thoughts are coming, and you're just witnessing, can do a beautiful job. But again, it is not like you just do one time and it is gone. You have to continue doing it, because you have given so much of work to your mind, because of endless desires in all these years. It keeps playing the music back to you. And desires of love and desires of hate, desires of attachment and desires of aversion, they both lead to this ego sense prevail. And what makes ego sense more solid? My family, my religion, my country, my education, my job, and they, and they, and they, and they. And these people I like and these I don't like. All this mental construct. So the role playing continues, one after the other. And the moment this person playing the role disappears, then that awareness within, without takes over. Now someone can say, I am realized soul. What is stupidity? Because that I am has disappeared now. Yes, the soul is there and the body is there, and then you can use the body to convey whatever. But who is now conveying? The one who was born is there, but the one who was thinking he is this body is dead, died. That concept is no more there. That concept that I am the body would have taken to the next birth and continued the cycle. But because that concept is no more there, there is nothing else needs to happen again. No more role playing can happen. Because the person who was given this body mind to continue in this role in this birth, and next another 20-30 births has fled, has disappeared. Even the Maya, all this illusory game which that absolute has made, you have you have understood and you have moved out of it. Actually, whatever you call God, he must be praising you in that sense that somehow he understood the trick. He is out of it. But but again, who is out of it? The one who is out of it is actually dead. So only that God is there, or that absolute is there, or that awareness is there. So then who was playing this game? Then the question arises, who was the one who was suffering? So the answer is nobody was suffering. There was nobody there. Suffering is illusory. I am the body sense is illusory. As your birth is illusory, your death is also illusory. You are not born and you are not going to die. Body has come into being. It will stay, it will get old, it will have disease, body, pain, whatever. It will finish off. You are witnessing now and you will witness when it will die. When it is having pain, you are witnessing it, but you are not suffering. You are free. You were free before. Even when you think you are suffering, you are free. And if you die in ignorance, even at that moment also you are free. But who knows it? Actually, this all is very easy to understand. If you have an open heart and give away all your previous learning from the mind and conditioning, and Maya is a big magician, I'll tell you, the best magician. And we always appreciate magicians on stage. This whole life is a magic. But magic, to stay happy and blissful, understand this magic and get out of it. And then lead a peaceful life. Very peaceful, very loving, very kind. Then you don't have to do drama to go out and help others. Because others are also ignorant fools like you. Now you know, they will also know one day. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe after 10 births or this birth or never or ever or who knows. But they are part of us only. We are all, that same energy is flowing. I'll put you in another word, this beautiful thing. You know, they say that apple which Adam and Eve has had first time, that was the first sin. So the first sin is, I am the body idea. If this I am the body idea you give up, you are free. So let's say there are a few billion people in this world. Whoever gives up this I am the body idea, they are out of the sin. That's all. That's all. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. You don't have to do any big tapas or go to a cave or, that's just, if you understand and if you are convinced and you are open to this and you surrender your ego, your this body sense, then you are free. You are free. You were always free. If you keep hold to this idea, You can continue doing all exercises of spiritual gymnastics, but of no use. This simple truth takes people whole their life, because somehow mind give rise to doubt, and it creates some other illusion, and it postpones your own freedom, your liberation from this illusory mind. And you don't have to kill mind or kill body or change outside or do something, but just once you know, stay on that. If you think it's very slippery and the mind has a lot of control, then read books like Rebu Gita every day for 1 hour, 2 hours. Because it is constant repetition of this whole thing again and again and again. Keep reminding yourself. You know, sometimes I also feel people on YouTube, when they look through satsang videos, they have seen one video 5 times and they have seen hundreds of videos. So if someone has spent 500, 600, 700 hours, 1000 hours of keep repeating, unfoldment will happen. Why will it not happen? They have, how intense that is, I feel love and devotion to these people. They are real seekers, like they are the greatest bhaktas. They have surpassed that intensity, that longing, that finishes, that washes away this first sin, that I am the body. Because you know why it is sin? I'll tell you very simply. That absolute has given a body to its own part to interact, and it has created that, no, I am the ruler of this body and I am the doer and I can do it and I can show it and I am achiever. How arrogant we become. Absolute has planned everything, but because of our arrogance, that ego sense, we are creating a kingdom inside the kingdom. So there's a kingdom of God, and then there's a kingdom of ego. And this is the sin. Like, let's say you are a king, and some poor fellow you gave a piece of land and money and everything, and gave him servants and everything what he needs, and you say, okay, live happily. And after a few years you come over there and you see that he says, I am the king of this place. Who are you? I don't even know you. What would you say to him? You will say, okay, now survive. And one day he feels miserable because he has no constant infinite supply for all those things. One day everything will dry out, and then he will ask you, and then he will cry for help, and then he will say, look, you are my boss, you are everything, I am nothing, it was my mistake. And because you are that infinite compassion, you will give him everything. He will surrender. Exactly this happens in our life. Because ego gives us this feeling also that I am doing, I am achieving, I have made this thing big, I've made houses, I have achieved this and that and this and that. And then you are surrounded, unfortunately, by all the ego sense bodies, and everyone is talking the same parrot-like language after doing that first sin. So we think that is the way to live. And then comes some teaching or some opening or some experience or a sage, and you realize, no, this is not right. I should not be doing it. And then you look into it. And because it is there always in everyone, there is no one without a soul. Nobody can say, my soul is dead or I don't have a soul. Everyone is provided with that. Bhagavan used to say that even if you go to hell, I will be there. He's not talking about a form which people see. He's talking about the self. Self is always there, everywhere it is self. When illusion is there, definitely self is before illusion. Yes, illusion might go away, but self will be there. There is only self. Rest all is illusion. If once you understand and you stick to it, that's all. You are most precious. You are that jewel. You are not the mind which is causing you problem. You are not even that which can get suffering from the mind. You are beyond mind. Whatever mind has created, it has no power to create even a fraction of a suffering to you. The one who thinks I am suffering is also part of mind only. And you are not that. Understand this simple truth. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.